should probably save some of the fun for later, but I can't help right now but move on to Dwight Yoakam's Fast As You. You can see that it uses many of the same ideas that we've developed from Pretty Woman, Crazy Train, and then Day Tripper by the Beatles. We're playing again an E7 riff. We're playing on the open E string. As in the Beatles song, we're going from G to G sharp. That's a bluesy move. The G sharp is the 3 of the chord. The G natural is the flat 3. You'll hear that kind of idea in your soloing a lot, where you run through the flat 3 to the major 3. Then he goes to the flat 7 on the 5th string, back to the B. So now we've spelled out our E7 chord again, just like in Pretty Woman. Open E, G sharp, B, and D. The E, G sharp, B, and D, 1, 3, 5, and flat 7 makes an E7. In Day Tripper we saw the same idea. I've put that D on the 5th fret again. As you know from the last lesson, it doesn't really belong there. It's an open D, but it's nice to see the continuity here if I do it this way. So we've got the open E, the flat 3, the 3. I'm talking about scale tones there, not frets, because that's 3rd and 4th fret. And now Dwight does the E, G, G sharp, D, pedals back to the 2, the B note of the chord, and a C sharp, and back to the B. We haven't seen C sharp in the other rock tunes yet. In blues and rock, this E chord is often played with a power chord. That's a 1 and a 5, so it's called an E5. We're going to explore this later, but the 6 is often put in. That's the 4th fret, the C sharp, in this boogie style, and often alternated with the D, the flat 7. So you can see that's what Dwight's doing here. The interesting thing for me here is we've got a 5 to a 2 to a 4 to a 2. He's using the 5th and 4th frets again, pedaling on the 2, just as Crazy Train had done. So we've gone from playing an E7 riff in Pretty Woman, where we were in A with the relative minor, F sharp minor, the appropriate chord for the diatonic key, the D, and the E, the 1, 4, and 5 with that 6. In Crazy Train we saw that we took that key of A, treated it like the key signature of A, but actually focused on the F sharp minor, the relative minor. So it's probably a song in F sharp minor, but it moves to the relative major. The Beatles then used the same idea, an E7 or an E9 chord, to do their riffs. And then 2 things that they did. One was to follow the blues idea that we saw in blues bass and boogie bass onto the 4 chord. Dwight's doing that in his song. He's going from E to the next string, the A, identical riff, and back. He also uses the F sharp major chord, just like the Beatles used F sharp 7, which is out of key in E or A. In A, F sharp should be a minor chord, it's the relative minor 6. In E, F sharp should be a minor chord, the 2. But both of these songs are turning it into a major. I'd love to be able to trace this idea back and find sort of one common ancestor that shows these kinds of songs in E with these E riffs that use the F sharp major. It's not that it's an impossible chord or anything like that. It just seems as though it's overly popular with these E chords, as though there's one common song or one common thread of songs that have sort of prepared our ears for it. Definitely Dwight Yoakam has all of the other songs in mind when he's doing this, although he probably hasn't derived this from any one of them. It's just a whole stream of material that does this kind of idea. On the F sharp major, I'm just going to play a power chord. This is nice for me because I don't have to commit then. I don't have to say, well, it's going to be F sharp minor, the appropriate chord for the key signature, which doesn't sound right, Nor do I actually have to do the F sharp major, which is out of key, which also sounds a little strong to my ear. I actually just like the F sharp 5. I'm going to jump to A and back. F sharp. I'm just doing a power chord, although I've got this finger in case I want to hit the whole chord, which I don't. To an A at the 5th fret. Once again, Wild Thing showed us that. Or F sharp 5 again, I'm doing the power chord. To an A. You know this version is a bar chord. It's the same 0, 2, 2, 2, and open. Except when I bar the 2s, I can't hit this open. 0, 2, 2, 2, and I don't hit the next string. In fact, I probably don't even hit the 2nd string. This also then is an A5, just a bar chord. Really the E is as well. Even though we're playing single note riffs, I often will put that into a chord form, which we'll use in other songs as well. There's no reason you don't add your bass riff to your chords. So that's basically the song. We do that riff 4 times on E, twice on A, twice on E. That's fulfilling your blues format, your 12-bar blues. Then instead of going to the turnaround, he goes to the F sharp, A, and starts again. And then he runs up to the A chord. 3 bars of the 4 chord, back to the E, A, 3 bars again, to the B, that's the 5 chord. You hear all this tension we've been waiting for all day, which should lead you back to this E. And it does, but it does a little bass line to get there. On an E chord. Just one last glance, this is how it looks. We're playing the riff on E, 0, 3, 4, 5, 2, 4, 2. He does that as an intro, the band kicks in, he does it another 4 times, then 4 times while he sings. Moves to the next string, the A chord, repeats the idea twice as a blues would do. Back to the E for 2 times. So here, back to E 2 times. To the F sharp, or F sharp major. I've written it as an F sharp 5, just a power chord. Or I've filled the whole thing up if you want to see it. 2, 4, 4, 3, 2, 2. You can move to an A power chord, or an A here. Tabbed here, 5, 7, 7, or 0, 2, 2. And we're back to E's. Then he runs up off this 0, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're in the chorus, 3 bars of this A chord. To the E. Back to the A's. 3 bars. Tabbed here as a power chord, 2, 4, 4, B5, and then a bass line running down. 2nd fret, that's the B you're already holding. Open A, the 5th string, G sharp, F sharp, and you're back to your E. Have a good time with this one. I think this is the end of these for now, unless I go on to Nazareth's Hair of the Dog, which has a very similar riff. I'm going to check that one out one more time before I decide on it. Catch you guys later. Have a good one.